In order to use KEIL Studio Cloud, we have to go to os.embed.com, and if you've already set up your login, you should be able to just go to KEIL Studio Cloud like this and put in your login information, and you should see these screens coming up. Now I have a number of programs already in here, and we have a number of browsers that you might think you can use with KEIL Studio Cloud, but there's only really one, and I'll show you why that's the case. Now what I've done is right mouse clicked and I've set this the active project. This is lab2A, which we're going to be working on first, and this is the actual code here. Now currently what we're doing is we're running KEIL Studio Cloud using Chrome, and Chrome is the only browser that will work perfectly. Now some of the things you'll see that if we're working with Embed OS 5, all these blue things should be lit up, and we should be able to also connect our devices shown here and select Freedom K64. This is not true of using Firefox or Edge or even Safari on the Mac. Let's take a look at the differences here. So for instance, if I've got this, I can click on this button here and I should see it doing all these moves over here where it's building it, it's preparing, it's flashing, and everything works perfectly in KEIL Studio Cloud using Chrome. And right now it says it's running. So if I go and take a look at this here, I should be able to say, hi there, how are you? And everything works fine. The problem that we run into is if we try using a different browser, and we're going to go now into Firefox. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to type os.embed.com, and again we're going to log in. And when we log in with Firefox, it might come up with Freedom K64, and if it doesn't, we can always click here and search for Freedom K64 and bring it up. But notice that not all these buttons are active, because if we try and say hardware and add device, it says there's no devices found. So this is why Firefox won't work. Let's try Microsoft Edge. It kind of sort of works, but it doesn't work completely. We can actually go up here and click on here and say add device and say SimSysTap this time and say connect. And if we go back to the big S here, we can see everything lining up here. But the problem that you run into is if you try running it using the Run Project button here, everything seems to be working fine, but flashing is going to take all day, and then it's not going to work properly. It's very, very slow. And so that's why Edge is also another browser that won't properly work with KEIL Studio Cloud. Now in lab number 2, part 3 here of the procedure, it says copy this link. So if we right mouse click and go to copy link, we can then move back to KEIL Studio Cloud, where KEIL Studio Cloud is being used with the Chrome browser. And what we want to do is bring in this new project that we've copied the link for. So we're going to go up here to File, and we're going to say Clone, and then we're going to right mouse click and we're going to paste the link in here, and it's going to make this the active project. Now when I say Add Project, you'll notice all of these projects here are ghosted. And when this link comes in, it will be the only one that will be highlighted, because you can only have one active project at a time. Now we can click down here and bring up our main. There's our main code sitting here. And what we have to do at this point is we have to give a build target. So if we click on here, so we can say Freedom K64, and then it says compatible targets. We will click here, and now we specified our target. And right now there's no hardware selected. We can also go here and say let's connect our Freedom K64 device, and then go back to this big S here, and we'll see these things lighting up. Let's take a look at our code here. First thing you're going to notice is include embed.h, unsigned char input. Then we have a while one or forever loop, same thing. This variable input is going to get a character from standard in, and standard in, as you should know, is our keyboard. Then we're going to put that character to standard out. If it happens to be a 0D, we're going to then put a 0A, and then we're going to F-flush the standard out so that all that stuff goes to the screen. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click here, and it's going to build this, and it's going to then put it in a place where we can download. We can right mouse click and we can say show in folder, and then what we can do is actually grab this bin file that's been created and drag and drop, and we can do this, as I said, in Firefox and in Edge both. You'll see it's downloaded. But the next thing that we have to do is we have to now press the reset button on the Grove Shield. Once we do that, then the code will be running. Now if you remember, under terminal we've got these things set off, and we've got force local echo turned on. Now let's see what happens when we run this code. So if we bring our screen over here and we click inside the screen and I say HI space THERE, everything is being double typed. Why is it being double typed? Because we forced the local echo on, so when you input the character, it's going to use the putc to put the character, then it's going to echo it, and that's why we're getting double characters. So one of the things that we'd like to do is actually make a quick change. We're just going to go here, and we're going to comment this out, and we're going to then use the hammer again to regenerate a new version. We're going to go up here, we're going to right mouse click, we're going to say show in folder, we're going to drag and drop the new revision back into DAPLink here. We're going to hit the reset button on our Grove Shield, and then when we take a look at what we've got here, when we bring up our thing again and I hit enter and say hi there, I'm only going to get one character for key press because it's not echoing it here and force local echoing on the actual Putty screen. So we have an option here. Let's get out of this and let's show you how this works a little bit more. So if we bring this up here and go to terminal again, what we can say is let's force local echo off. And when we open it this time, we're going to need to have the putc here to actually have single characters. So if we now hit our button here again to compile it, and if we go here and right mouse click and say show in folder, drag and drop, then once we do, we hit the reset on the Grove Shield. Once we've done that and open this up again, what we're going to find is that again, if we say hi there, how are you, then it's going to work properly. Now besides this, we can also do escape, left square bracket 2, capital J, shift J, and the whole screen will go clear. We can do escape, left square bracket 12, semicolon 40, capital H, and it's going to position our cursor in the middle of the screen because this is 24 rows by 80 columns. So it's going to put it on row 12, column 40. So there's various ANSI Escape sequences that will allow us to clear the screen, position the cursor, and even change the text color. For instance, if I do escape, left square bracket 1 means bold, 33 semicolon 44 small m, and then if I do a control L, the whole screen is going to go blue and the characters are going to type are going to be in yellow. If I want to go back, I can say escape, left square bracket 0 small m, control L, and what that means is it's going to be back to our default. So we're able to position the cursor, clear the screen, and change our text attributes based on the ANSI Escape sequences link that you find in the lab.